Nisha here from Englishfirm. Today is the first video of our new series, Study and Practice with Englishfirm, where in the first part, I'll explain how a task is done, and in the next part is for you to practice around 20 to 50 questions of every item of PTE. Starting with the most important one, Write From Dictation today. This is the second highest scoring item in the whole test, carrying 32 marks, and out of which 22 is given to writing and around 10 is given to your listening module. So if you look at it, this is an item that comes under the listening module. It is the last question in the whole test. However, it impacts your writing more than your listening module, which means this question alone can decide whether you get your desired score in your writing module. So what you do in this task essentially is, you will hear an audio which is just one sentence. It could be anywhere between 7 to 14 words long, and all you have to do is type the words of the sentence exactly as it is on the screen provided. Now, few mistakes that many students make here. First and foremost, relying completely on your memory rather than taking notes. What I've noticed these days is, not just the students, including me, we rely so much on technology, because of which our memory skills are not as strong as before. So I'm sure you are hearing all the words. We hear all the words when the audio is played, but within few seconds, we immediately forget half of it or even more. Which is why it's always a great idea to take down notes, as they provide you with a notebook and pen in the exam. And even when you take down notes, do not try to write the whole sentence or the correct spelling on your notes. The notes are just for you to recollect your memory. So even if you get the spelling wrong on your notes, it's all right. Because if you worry about getting the spelling right while you take down the notes, you will still forget the remaining part of the words. So learn to take short notes. What I recommend here is, when you listen to the audio, note down the first letter of every word vertically, not horizontally, vertically. There is a reason, because if you write it vertically, it's less confusing and you have more space on the right side to add the remaining part of the word later. So while you listen to the audio, focus on the meaning of the sentence, note down the initials of the word, and as soon as the audio is over, add a little bit more of the word, because even after a few seconds, you may not remember what the letter was for. So it's good to add a little bit more of the words. I'll show you how to take down notes while we do one task together. And the second mistake that students make after typing it in, not proofreading. So you might know good spellings, you're good with spellings, you're good with vocabulary, but when you type, there could be mistakes. So do not just type and move on. Check your spelling, check the spacing. If you forget to space two words, it'll look like a single word to the computer and you could be losing 2 marks for both of those words. So in between every word, leave a space, start with a capital letter, end with a full stop. And the most common question and the most confusing question for many students, can you write extra words in Write From Dictation? 100% yes, because we have got students who got 90 in listening and writing by writing extra words. So this is an advantage of PTE. According to the scoring criteria, the computer gives you 1 mark for each word. There is no negative marking for wrong words. So in cases where you're confused about the spelling of a word or the word form, for example, you don't know if there's a flower or flowers, just write both. And if you're not sure if the spelling of receive is R-E-C-E-I-V-E or C-I-E-V-E, write both. So these are the few things to keep in mind. So before you start practicing, make sure you have a notebook and pen ready. Also, make sure you have a notebook and pen separately only for your spellings, because another common mistake that I notice among students these days is a lot of spelling mistakes. Again, I would blame technology and mobile phones, because all these mobile phones, Grammarly, your laptop, they always help you autocorrect your spellings, which is not the case in the exam. You don't have autocorrect or spell check. You need to write the spelling on your own, and many students tend to make a lot of spelling mistakes, and because of which they're losing a lot of marks in listening and writing. So make sure to take a note of the words words that you make a spelling mistake on, and revise those words every single day. So after you write your answer, pause and voice the answer with the words, with the spelling, and whichever spellings you made wrong, make sure you make a note of it in your spellings notebook in the other one. So that's pretty much it, guys. So let's start with practicing. You will be practicing 50 questions with me today, and best of luck.
The university has introduced a new scholarship program for international students. Proper referencing is a critical component of academic writing. The lecture tomorrow will focus on modern economic theories. Group projects allow students to develop collaborative skills. The professor emphasized the importance of independent research. Laboratory safety procedures must be strictly followed at all times. Technological advancements are shaping the future of education. The seminar will cover current trends in renewable energy. Students are encouraged to join clubs and societies on campus. The exam timetable will be posted on the official notice board. Health science students must complete a first aid certification course. The university library offers free access to online databases. Globalization has significantly influenced cultural interactions. A clear thesis statement strengthens an academic essay. Statistics is an essential subject in many academic disciplines. The university organizes regular workshops on mental health awareness. All students should familiarize themselves with plagiarism policies. The final report is due at the end of the research project. Digital skills are becoming increasingly important in the workplace. Regular reading habits improve both vocabulary and comprehension. The research findings were presented at the international conference. The deadline for course registration is next Wednesday. Public transportation is the most sustainable way to travel in cities. Guest lecturers often bring practical industry knowledge to the class. The course outline includes both theory and practical components. Students must respect cultural diversity in the learning environment. The faculty is committed to supporting innovative teaching practices. Accurate data collection is vital for reliable scientific research. The assignment topic should be chosen in consultation with the lecturer. All exams are conducted under strict supervision. The new course aims to improve academic writing and critical thinking. Students should regularly check their emails for important announcements. The study hall remains open 24 hours during exam season. Effective leadership requires both confidence and empathy. The workshop will introduce students to qualitative research methods. The department provides academic counseling for struggling students. Regular feedback helps students improve their learning outcomes. Ethical approval is necessary before conducting medical experiments. Every student is responsible for maintaining academic integrity. The lecture will address the causes and effects of global warming. Time management is a key factor in achieving academic success. The course requires students to complete weekly reading assignments. Tutors encourage students to ask questions during tutorials. The university cafeteria offers discounts for registered students. The research article was published in a peer-reviewed journal. Participation in workshops will boost your practical knowledge. A strong introduction captures the reader's attention in essays. The annual cultural festival will be held on the main campus. Students must apply online to access the university's housing facilities. The lecture recordings are available for students who missed the class.